Hey guys, it's me, Paulette Parker. I want to talk to you for a second about something that makes people kind of uncomfortable, and that is mental illness. About 3 months ago, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. And being honest with not only myself, but my doctor about what was going on with me has changed my life. So now I like to share my experience with that to break down the stigma associated with mental illness. I think a lot of times, especially in the African American community, it's thought of something that doesn't exist or can be prayed away. But here are 6 facts about Black mental health. African Americans are 20% more likely to experience mental illness. That's because we're more likely to be exposed to things like homelessness, exposure to violence, and other trauma. African Americans also often experience more severe forms of things like depression, anxiety, and PTSD because of unmet needs and barriers to things like healthcare. And only about 1/4 of African Americans seek mental health care. Socioeconomic factors play a huge role in this. If you can't afford treatment, then your options are severely limited. And some studies show that there are even disparities in the actual care received. African Americans often metabolize many medications more slowly than the general population, but were often prescribed higher doses. This means more severe side effects, which can make it really hard to stick with treatment. Did you know 70% of youth in the juvenile justice system have at least one mental illness? And unfortunately, minority youth are disproportionately represented in the system, making up nearly 2/3 of youth offenders behind bars. And suicide is the 16th leading cause of death among African Americans 25 and older, and is the 3rd leading cause of death in African Americans aged 15 to 24. If you or someone you know shows warning signs of suicide, contact a mental or medical health professional or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. The only way we're going to break down the stigma associated with mental illness is if we start to talk about it. You can follow my journey with anxiety at www.sociallyawkwardmom.com, or you can like us on Facebook or Instagram.